The Galaxy Note line is renowned for its massive screen that at one point was out of the ordinary for smartphones, and the iconic S Pen that accompanies it. The Note line was quintessential in pioneering the phablet market and set the precedent for future smartphones and showed that consumers loved big phones. This year, Samsung blessed us with their next iteration of the Note lineup. We have the Galaxy Note 10 and the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which both come with some interesting new features that I'm sure Android fans around the world will drool over. In this video, we're going to review the newly refreshed Note lineup and discuss the new specs, new features, and showcase the differences between the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. But before we do, if you want to see more unboxings, more reviews, and be up to date on the latest tech, and if you want to win some huge prizes like an Apple Watch Series 5 for my next 10K giveaway, scroll down right now or exit your full screen mode and hit that red subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so that you don't miss any of my videos. Oh wait, don't worry. Did you do it? Did you ring the bell icon? You did? Bet, let's dive straight into the unboxing. Alright, now going over a quick unboxing, you'll see these boxes are all black and look so mysterious, like you look at it and wonder, oh man, what the hell is in here? Upon further inspection, you'll see that on the front we have an image of the S Pen, highlighting that this is no ordinary phone, no sir. Accompanying the S Pen we have either Note 10 branding or Note 10 Plus, flanking the pen to the south. Now the unboxing experience is exactly the same for both phones, just scaled up or down for size. On the left we have Samsung Galaxy Note branding, serial number information on the bottom, nothing on the right and top. We cut open the sticker on the back as I was luckily able to find a knife this time, and we were presented with the Note 10 sitting there, just waiting for you to get your grimy dirty hands all over it. But before that, we do have our SIM ejection tool as well as some documentation hidden within our box, so make sure you don't miss that if you're interested in reading the product information guide. We'll set our beautiful phone off to the side for now, and inside we find all of our accessories including our 25-watt wall charger, an adapter to convert USB-A to USB-C, a USB-C to USB-C cable to charge and sync your device, and finally a pair of stereo AKG headphones which aren't too shabby. And as I mentioned, each phone has the exact same contents inside, same accessories, same everything, just being adjusted for the two respective sizes. Then just press the multi-purpose button on the side here used for summoning Bixby but also doubles as a power button. Once it turns on, you'll be prompted to go through the setup process, and that's it. Now taking a quick tour of the device, you have your beautiful 6.3 inch or 6.8 inch Infinity O display with your selfie camera towards the middle this time as opposed to the hole punch design. Volume up and down button on the left as well as your power button and Bixby button flanking that. On the bottom we have a microphone as well as our speaker, some antennas for cellular reception, our USB-C port to charge our device, and this little dot here is where our magical S Pen is housed. So just press that and it should come right out. Nothing on the right, but on the top we will find our SIM tray along with some more microphones and a speaker. But a lot of the interesting tech is on the back and much of it isn't so noticeable. You have your triple lens camera or quadruple lens camera system depending on which model you got. Your flash, embedded inside on the top right corner is your GPS antenna, your NFC antenna and wireless charging coil towards the center behind the centerpiece, and finally your main antenna is housed towards the bottom of the device. So the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus are both powerhouses in terms of specs. I'll display most of the specs on screen, but to highlight the important stuff, we have both phones featuring the Snapdragon 855 in the United States, and worldwide you'll get the Exynos 9825 CPU. Much of the previous features on the Note 9 are also found here on this new iteration, with of course better specs and some cool new features. The Note 10 comes standard with 8GB of internal RAM, while the bigger Note 10 Plus comes with a whopping 12GB of RAM, and both come with an initial 256GB of internal storage, which some companies could take note of this, get it? As this should be the norm for storage in 2019, not 64GB. I'm looking at you, Apple. Where they also differ is in screen resolution. Let me explain. The smaller Note 10 has a 6.3 inch FHD Plus dynamic AMOLED Infinity O display with a screen resolution of 2280 by 1080 and a pixel density of 401 ppi. The bigger Note 10 Plus bests that with a much more impressive 6.8-inch Quad HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED Infinity O display featuring a screen resolution of 3040 by 1440 and a crisper 498 ppi. With ppi, a larger pixel density is better, resulting in more pixels being displayed per inch of screen real estate. Batteries also differ, as is the case with most phone families with a smaller and bigger form factor, since the Note 10 Plus has more space for a bigger battery. But it's not just because it's bigger, it also requires a much bigger battery to power the extra pixels and the higher screen resolution, so both phones can achieve similar battery lives. I do plan to put these two head to head in one of my infamous battery drain tests, so definitely stay tuned for that one. The Note 10 features a 3500 mAh battery, while the monstrous Note 10 Plus has a 4300 mAh battery, being the biggest battery ever in terms of milliamp hours ever found on a Samsung smartphone, equating in roughly about a 22% bigger battery. But does this translate to a 22% longer battery life? Probably not, but it is interesting to see which one would hold out longest, especially testing out the Quad HD Plus versus the FHD Plus. While on the topic of batteries, the Note 10s come packed with a 25-watt charger, which is again something some other companies should take note of. Remarkably, this allows your Note to be charged from 0 to 100% in a little less than an hour. But wait, there's more. You can opt to buy the optional 45-watt charger, which Samsung promises will get you through your entire day in just a 30-minute charge. Feature packed as always, quick wireless charging at 15 watts and the awesome power share feature that is also on the S10 lineup is also present here. Lastly, the last obvious difference is in the cameras department, but I'll brush up on that later. Samsung quickly realized that consumers are willing to pay top dollar for their smartphones, as Apple proved their blind and loyal fanboys, like myself, are willing to slave endless hours at work for incremental upgrades on their smartphones. Am I ashamed? Nope. Should I have used that money to start a mutual fund and save for my future? Maybe. Shut up. The Note 10 and Note 10 Plus are certainly not cheap. The Note 10 starts at $950 USD, but if you want the biggest screen, more RAM, and bigger battery featured on the bigger Plus variant, you must put in plus hours at work as well, since it comes in at $1,100 for the entry price. Or to put that figure into perspective, that's 2,200 chicken wings from Wingstop on Tuesdays, or 122 months of Netflix paid for on their basic membership. 10 years, dude. Oh, also, you get to choose from a variety of different colors with pretty basic names, ranging from Aura Glow, Aura White, Aura Black, Aura Blue, Aura Pink, and Aura Red, with a couple of those being reserved as color options only available to the Note 10 5G. In Samsung's defense, the color options are pretty nice. Point is, these phones are expensive, but for all that money, what exactly are you getting? For one, the display on the Note 10 is eye candy, and I can't fully portray how great this looks on camera. You have to see it in person to appreciate this beauty yourself. The screen is massive. It's the Note 9 on steroids. It really does look like it just popped them not too long ago, but also hit cardio day, since it actually doesn't feel or look all that huge. Samsung managed to keep the dimensions about the same, but managed to crank up the screen from 6.4 inches to 6.8, yet still manages to not look like a calculator, but rather looks like a very elegant and slim slab of glass. The color reproduction is insane, and while the refresh rate on this display is only 60 Hz and not the rumored 90 Hz, I really can't complain. Coming from a die-hard Apple fan, the Note 10 display blows any current iPhone display out of the water. Everything is just so crisp and pleasing to look at, and while at first I thought the middle punch hole camera placement would be intrusive in the middle as compared to the corner placement on the S10, it's actually not bad at all, and I barely even noticed it was there half the time. Really though, one of the biggest features of the Note 10 and its hallmark feature is the S Pen, with new upgraded features. I, for one, have personally never been a fan of using a stylus, and not because Steve Jobs roasted using styli. I just don't see any practical use for them on a smartphone. Now on a tablet is different, as I use my Apple Pencil for my 12.9-inch iPad almost daily. But hey, if you like to use your stylus, then you'll be sure to enjoy your Note 10 even more. The S Pen is a 105mm long stylus that only weighs 3 grams. For such great technology, it feels weightless and has been a pleasure using so far on the Note 10 Plus's massive screen. But I'm not sure if some of these features are gimmicky, and asked myself if I'd really be using any of these features on a regular basis. The new S Pen lets you convert handwriting to text and then export it to a Word document or a PDF, but I don't see myself using that feature all too often. Don't get me wrong, it's neat, but if I need to write a Word document, I'll type it up rather than handwriting it, but that's just my personal opinion and won't dock it too many points since it is pretty cool. Additionally, the S Pen has new air gestures that are pretty cool, but again, this was what I mentioned about being gimmicky. Simply wave your S Pen in the air to switch up camera modes from say the telephoto to wide angle, or zoom in by making a circular motion with the S Pen, and this is tracked from a good ways away. I tried it from at least 4 feet away and it still worked. The S Pen also works natively with Spotify and works as well as one would expect it to. Skip or rewind tracks, control the volume, and play or pause songs are all things you can do with your S Pen and works with no issues. I just wish more apps had this kind of tight integration with the S Pen, but I'm positive more support throughout several different kinds of apps are soon to come. Lastly, you do also have AR Doodle, which is so cool. Kinda reminds me of Snapchat filters in a way. Basically, say you're out having some drinks with the boys and one of them has had a little bit too much to drink and just KOs. Instead of potentially ruining the friendship by drawing inappropriate things on their face, simply record and doodle over your friend's face in the video instead of in real life. The AR tracking enables your subject matter to be followed by your doodles, like for example a mustache or a top hat, or if they blacked out with their mouth wide open, you can also draw, you know what, I'm not even gonna say it. It's actually really fun to draw and have that drawing follow said person in the video. Fun? Yes sir. Useful in the real world? Not so much, probably. Now, without a doubt, everyone loves their smartphones for the memories that are stored with those amazing cameras, and Samsung is known for producing some top quality cameras for their smartphones. On the front of both the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus, we have the same punch hole camera, that being a 10 megapixel selfie camera that features dual pixel autofocus and an f2.2 aperture, and can shoot wide angle selfies up to 80 degrees. Where we'll notice something similar is on the back. I say that because for the most part, the camera array is borrowed over from the S10 lineup with some minor tweaks. For one, the Note 10 has a triple camera array, including a wide-angle 12 megapixel camera, an ultra-wide sensor that takes 123 degree photos, and lastly, a 12 megapixel telephoto lens that has a 2x optical zoom. The bigger variant of the Note 10 has all of this, but also includes a fourth sensor, that being a VGA depth camera that aids in giving those portrait shots that bokeh effect, mimicking the capabilities of those higher-end DSLRs through the use of some intelligent software implementation. The camera setup is top-notch on both, but Samsung hopes to bank on better improvements to videography with the depth sensor and other software features like blurring certain parts of your video, or playing around with colors like keeping one part in black and white and the other fully colored. This is dubbed live focus mode. As is typical from Samsung, the design of this phone, like the S10 lineup as well, is remarkably sleek and looks and feels great in the hand. While this is a phablet, it's weird. It doesn't feel like one, it just feels like a regular phone. One would be naive to call this a big phone because it isn't, despite having one of the largest screens in the smartphone industry. The phone is made of aluminum and glass, and the edge-to-edge screen hyperinflates its edginess and makes for a very sexy smartphone. Not to mention the extremely durable Gorilla 6 glass on both the front and back of the device, proving to be formidable for those occasions that you accidentally drop your phone. Take care of that front screen because hidden underneath we retain our embedded in-screen fingerprint reader, which is fast and snappy. But it's not only what's on the outside, but also the beast of internals you get inside. While I was 90% sure the Note 10 would have featured Snapdragon's 855 Plus, we were unfortunately let down and only received Qualcomm's Snapdragon 855 CPU. But it's no biggie because performance-wise, you'll likely never complain. The UI is so fluid, intuitive, and very, very snappy. power is an understatement with these two phones. Ever wanted to duplicate what's on your Note 10 onto a bigger screen? With DeX mode, you can do simply that by having a USB-C to USB-C cable and hook it up to your laptop, and even works on Macs. This in turn kind of creates sort of a Mac OS vibe, as you're able to reply to your messages or run apps like Microsoft's suite of apps, including Microsoft Excel or Word. Annoyingly though, some compromises had to be made in order to make this one of Samsung's most compelling offerings yet. This phone now eliminated the headphone jack, but it wasn't the only thing that got axed, as the micro SD card slot also met its fate. I just think it's kind of funny how Samsung teased Apple for doing it and now they followed suit. Although in Samsung's defense, I feel Apple killed the headphone jack a bit too soon, but then the wireless headphone market blew up and now wireless headphones are everywhere, largely due to the fact that Apple did it first. But I don't know, you draw your own conclusions about the headphone jack. How do you feel about its gradual elimination from a majority of tech? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, there is so much I could discuss about the Note 10 lineup, and trust me, there is a lot going on with this phone. I don't think a single phone is 100% perfect, but man, the Note 10 comes pretty close. With one of the most gorgeous displays on the market and a healthy dose of fantastic new features, and not to mention all that power and performance under the hood, it's no wonder why so many people adore the beloved Note line. The stylus-equipped Note 10 is sure to make a statement this year for all smartphones, including the highly anticipated successor to the iPhone XS. For what it's worth, feature-wise and performance-wise, the Note 10 Plus is arguably a much better phone than the XS, both on paper and in practical use. With a bigger battery, bigger display, and more interesting features, Samsung sets the bar high for what the new iPhone should do to reign supreme as a king of 2019 smartphone. Whether you're an Apple fanboy or an Android lover, there's no denying this phone is impeccable at always delivering and rarely disappointing. There's really not too much to complain about here other than that high price tag, and I just feel the depth sensing camera is in its infancy and hope Samsung goes beyond just a few gimmicks with it, and I feel it could have some true potential. This hands down though has to be one of the best Android phones on the market, and if you pick it up, you won't be disappointed and you will likely just behold its beauty all the time and drool in amazement at how good looking this phone truly is. Well guys, this has been my official unboxing and review for the newly released Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. But stay tuned as I'll put these two bad boys through several grueling tests to see which phone lasts longest in a battery drain tests. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up if it helped you in any way. With that being said guys, I'm excited for all the new tech being announced and released here in the next coming months, and can't wait to cover it all and share my thoughts and opinions with you guys. But until then, keep dropping those comments and keep dropping those likes, as it helps me out tremendously. I can't wait to catch you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.